Listen to the 48 Hours podcast for shocking murder cases and compelling real-life dramas from one of television's most watched true crime shows. Go behind the scenes of each episode with award-winning CBS News correspondents and producers in Postmortem, a weekly deep dive. Listen to 48 Hours wherever you get your podcasts.
This episode is brought to you by Marvel Studios Echo. All episodes streaming January 9th, only on Hulu and Disney+. Rated TV MALV. Viewer discretion advised. Maya Lopez has betrayed her mentor, the notorious Kingpin. Now on the run, she returns to her hometown to prepare for the biggest fight of her life. Don't miss Marvel Studios' hardest-hitting series yet. An epic 5-episode event. Marvel Studios Echo. All episodes streaming January 9th, only on Hulu and Disney+.
I'm April.
And I'm Caroline. And this is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
Hello, this is Caroline.
We are back for another bloody happy hour, but it's a little different today.
Yeah, we got a little, we have some updates and some info and some thank yous and a bunch of things.
Yeah, we are just excited that you guys have stuck with us for this past 6 months. It's basically our 6-month anniversary. And we are still loving it. So you're going to get us at least for another 6 months.
Pretty sure this is the second longest relationship I've ever had.
Second longest relationship.
Yeah, I'm doing really good.
So we started back in July. It is now December. And if you started with us in July and you are still listening, special thank you to you. If you started in the middle and caught up, thank you. Or maybe you just randomly happened upon us. Either way, we love your downloads. We love your listens. So thank you. Thank you.
These reviews are very interesting.
Yeah, we need to hear. Actually, we haven't read reviews in a while. So let's catch up on these really quick. This is from Sikkim 2021. Lots of laughs and great stories. Love it.
Is this one next? Magnificent?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Magnificent is the title. Love it. Thank you, ladies. You know, sometimes you don't even need to say
That's all you need.
Anything.
This is from Mike 777777734.
Oh. A lot of sevens.
I really enjoy listening to Caroline and April. They have such a unique and lighthearted way of bringing some very disturbing content. Keep it coming. We sure will. Mike, thank you.
This is Cousin Mama.
Ooh.
Laughs, gasps, and disturbing details. My husband and I listen together each week. Although some of the details are a bit disturbing or gory, we enjoy the chemistry between April and Caroline. I particularly like it when April says something that shocks Caroline, and she says in her whisper scream, "What?"
Just like that.
We will continue to add Bloody Happy Hour to our weekly entertainment.
Thank you, Cousin Mama. She is literally my cousin mama.
Oh.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
All right, this is from Janae. Janae, like a Forrest Gump. Love it. I'm finally caught up on all the episodes, and now I don't know what to do with my life. I may start all over and listen from the beginning because I can't wait until Thursday. Thanks, Janae.
This is from HDKJDDJDGBND. Bloody Mess. It's a great name. You girls are a bloody mess, and I love it. I live for Thirsty Thursdays.
Yay!
Thank you to the lady who sneezed her username. It's like a...
What is it?
It's like...
Oh, yeah. Okay, so... send us, if you have not written a review, go on and do one right now. We promise we will read it at some point. We love reading those. It's like getting a package from Amazon
That you forgot you ordered.
that you forgot you ordered.
And it just shows up.
Yes, we read it with so much excitement. So thank you. Thank you. I want to shout out, did you know that we're officially in 8 countries?
We are so famous. Who are we?
We are, wait, can you tell them you were fangirled the other day?
Oh, I was in the parking lot, in the mall parking lot, and I'm just walking out of the store, and some girl's like driving through, and she has her window down, and she literally like yells out the window, "Bloody happy hour. I'm totally fangirling right now. I love Bloody happy hour." And I just looked and I was like, awkward. Yeah. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to start wearing a disguise everywhere I go because clearly I'm very recognizable.
So you might need to get a shopper for you and not go out in public.
I'm going to have
very
to
much.
get personal shopper. Like the one time I go out in public besides HEB,
Look at
to
you.
a store, I mean, I'm just recognized. It's just, it is what it is.
I was recognized at a viewing, like a funeral, like a viewing, and it was a devastating time. But I left with happiness because a girl waved, and I was like, well, I just waved back. So I was like, maybe I know her.
Yeah.
And she was like, I listen. And I was like, I listen. She was like, to the podcast, I listen. And then here I am cheesing at this funeral.
I mean, that's something I would do. Out of any awkward situation, I would completely just blurt out whatever, and it would be terrible, which is normal.
So countries, of course, the U.S., but Germany,
Yeah.
Australia,
Yeah.
maybe the Catherinite episode.
Well, and
Niels?
Fritzl was
Oh,
he was the German. You thought he was from Australia, and he was from Austria. Remember that whole deal?
Oh, so I confused them too.
Yeah.
UK, Italy, Canada, India, and Serbia.
Oh, I do have some Serbian friends on TikTok. I don't really.
So shout out to our international listeners.
Yeah. And what about locally? I mean, does anybody from Texas listen?
Obviously.
Oh,
but we have to shout out, of course, Waco Town. But Azle?
Texas?
Axel.
No,
Azle. It's
Azle.
Azle, Texas.
we
Listeners.
we are doing better in Azle than we are in Hewitt. Speaking of Hewitt,
Thank you, Azle.
That's
Thank you, Azle.
Yeah, thank you, Azle.
Our Azle listeners, shoot us an email and tell us who you are.
Yeah, send us
I'm
your
excited.
bio. We're gonna do numerology on you, so we can
Yes.
send us all your info.
What about Hewitt?
Well, I was going to say, speaking of Hewitt, that's where the Matt Baker, Carrie Baker murder happened. And that kind of segues into what we're going to do in January.
Oh, my goodness,
I
y'all.
could be skipping ahead,
No.
but we're going to do some Waco murders in January. We're going to talk about Matt Baker and Carrie Baker. We're going to
Yes.
talk about the Waco murder.
Like Waco murders. Finally, people have been asking and been asking.
Who was you mentioned somebody, but what was Gentry?
Darlene Gentry.
Is that
She's
the
the nurse.
Robinson person?
Uh-huh.
Who
Killed her husband, the nurse.
Yeah, one of my coworkers told me about it, and I was like, I think that's who she mentioned,
Yeah.
and it was, and something about the tank and throwing the gun, and the police had a camera set up, all this
she
stuff.
was on Snapped.
Yes.
Snapped.
Okay.
So
That and
I'm excited about Waco Town murders, and we're definitely going to try to get some people that were on their boots on the ground for for some of these episodes, or maybe like a Q&A after the episodes, like some of these detectives or the lawyers that were on. So January is going to be fun. We got to get to getting because we actually got to start recording next week.
I know.
So that is going to be January. February, people, I guess, love cults.
People love cults.
And
Listen,
probably going to be another Waco story in there.
Oh, well, I mean,
Can't miss out on
oh my gosh.
our craziness.
That's what we're known for. I mean,
Yeah.
Also, do you watch any of the Housewives?
No.
Okay. Well, there's this Housewives Salt Lake City.
Okay.
The Housewives Salt Lake City. And there's this one lady in there, Mary.
They're all married to one man.
No.
Oh.
But Mary Cosby is her name.
Okay.
She married they say she married a grandpa because she married her like step grandpa. And they have this big church situation.
Okay.
And apparently she said that when her grandmother died, her like dying wish was for Mary, her granddaughter, to marry her husband.
What?
And that's what God was telling her to do. And that's what Mary had to do. Well, then it just came out that was all a complete lie, but that she is married to her like grandpa or step grandpa, not blood related. And then now it's coming out that this church is like a cult.
Oh, I was wondering where
am
you
I
were going with
this?
that.
I know. So it has to do with another cult situation. And that reminded me of the HBO documentary out there about that lady I sent you with the big hair.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she has this church cult about people being, she like preaches about people being skinny.
Okay.
I mean, so I could dive into some random cult.
Oh, I bet
talk.
there's some weird cult stuff in Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Then we
Weird
talked-
stuff.
We
So-
were maybe in a cult earlier in life.
Yeah.
With
Still questionable.
yeah, it
Still
is.
questionable.
There's a lot of cults out there.
My husband actually called
started
it a
a cult?
cult. No.
He started his
He
own
called
cult.
it a cult for the longest. So, there's going to be a month of cults. I have
Cults,
two
cults, cults.
in my head that I know we'll talk about. And then we got to bring back the serial killers.
We gotta go for
Caroline.
the heavy hitters.
The heavy hitters.
You've all been waiting for Dahmer. You've all been waiting for Ted Bundy.
Yes.
I mean,
those.
resist 'em.
Yeah.
And
it's
that
not a
new-
true crime podcast.
oh,
Without.
no.
And there's actually, we just found out about a new serial
Ye-
killer.
Oh, yes. Tell us about it. I was gonna say there's a new like Ted Bundy. There was a new like Hulu movie based about Ted Bundy with. I forget what his name is. He was the actor on One Tree Hill. Anyway.
I just saw an article and
And then
People.
you found out, article about this new this like nurse.
yes. I have thank you nurses for what you do, but I'm really scared of nurses. I told Trenton he better not ever marry a nurse because they'll probably poison him. But William George Davis was a well-liked nurse in Tyler, Texas. Did I tell you it was in Tyler? Right down the road. Yes.
No.
At Christus Trinity Mother Frances Hospital. I went on to.
Mother Frances.
so it's-
okay. I don't know about her.
You'd probably go there because you're Catholic.
Mother Frances.
So, basically, he was killing patients that were going to live and survive. So they kept noticing that his patients were dying like randomly and they shouldn't. They were having the stroke. Well, when they investigated, they realized that he was going into the rooms right before they would like code. And when he was going in there, he was injecting air into their IV. I don't even know how you do that. Do you just like blow into it?
Maybe. I doubt it.
Oh, I bet you get a
Like
syringe.
CO2. Is CO2?
I bet you get a syringe with nothing in it and just inject it inside the line, and then that puts an air bubble. So, anyways, it causes
Did you just become a nurse?
I think I was a nurse.
Did you just go to nursing school
I
and
did
get
just
your
now.
doctorate in
In
air
nursing.
air needles?
Get my certificate, my
Your
license.
certificate? I had no idea.
So, and then they died. It would cause like neurological damage and they would die. Two of his patients are living, but they like are almost vegetables. So he killed 4 people randomly and they're still investigating. And he's ugly. Like I would have requested a
He's
new
ugly.
nurse if one nurse came in and she smelled like cigarettes and I was like, no, ma'am.
Did you
I
tell
will
her?
not. Yeah. Oh, I was like, I don't want a nurse to smell like cigarettes. Please give me another nurse.
Did you tell her to her face?
I said, can I have a nurse that does not smell like Marlboro Lights, please? And thank you.
Oh my gosh, did she come back?
She probably injected
Did you
air
have-
into my. No, I got somebody else.
Oh yes,
She probably injected air into my IV.
I
It's
would
probably-
not have wanted. Like, can you tell that Marlboro Light to walk out? You're
pack-
just a walking cigarette right
a
now.
walking cigarette.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So I got off, and then April. Tell them what the month of April is going to be about.
Oh, April's gonna be unsolved cases.
Yes, those are hard.
Which are very difficult. However, they need to be out there because we need to solve them. And if not April and I, then April herself, because she is now FBI, and
Yes.
she's CPS. I mean, she's everything. She's a detective. She has so
I
many.
just became a nurse.
She just became a nurse just in the past 5 minutes. But I mean, she's gonna solve Missy Beavers and what happened. Well, we know what happened, but
Yeah, that's going to be
who
our
re-
story.
That is probably the story that has so much video. It's like it reminds me of the Delphi, like the Delphi murders. Like they have so much video footage of it, which I say so much. It's just in general, there's just pieces of video,
Yeah.
which seem to be a lot more than some other places or cases. But I mean, you have this person walking, you have the person driving in, like you see the car
Yeah.
driving, and
And we can't solve the
you
case.
can't solve the case.
We can't
And with
solve the case.
Delphi, that's another new update. Like,
Oh yeah, they found.
because they had the guy,
Or they
like
got a
the
guy.
original footage of that murder was that the guy was walking along the bridge, and the girl who was murdered took the video of him walking,
Yeah.
and then there was voice, like they had him
Uh-huh.
talking, and they released just go down the bridge or whatever. But recently they found out that this random guy was pretending to have this fake profile and account to like get little teenage girls and stuff, and so they arrested him.
Yeah.
He's charged. He has like several things in his history.
Have
that
they
were-
officially linked it to?
No,
that?
they said they not that I heard.
Okay,
But it just was like,
it could be.
yeah,
Could be.
So
So April's going to be the 6th anniversary of Missy Beaver's death.
Yeah.
So we're going to cover that case. We're going to bring in some of our closest friends. So you've heard us mention it a little bit that me and Caroline used to be trainers for Camp Gladiator, and that's who Missy Beavers was working for. She was setting up camp when she got killed. Well, we have some of our CG good friends where none of it, or one of our group is still training, but we're all still real good friends. And they actually knew Missy Beavers. Leah was great friends, and our friend Alyssa was friends with her and stayed at her house. So we're going to bring this story with a little bit more insight than some of the other podcasts, because we were like at the same conference Missy was at that weekend. We lived Missy's life, basically.
Right.
We were doing the same things at 5 in the morning that she was doing.
So you kind of get
how
like
that
you kind of get
changed
how like,
training for us.
Well, plus like people were like, how would this person know she was at the church, and like how would
Yeah.
they get in and stuff like that? And I was like, well,
that's what you do.
just kind of like, if you know you're at the church, that's because you and the people who know, that's where you go if it rains. And so it was raining, so that was knowledge that's where you go. So it wasn't like,
yeah.
oh, random. No, it was not random.
No, it was
No.
not. So some good insight into that case.
Yeah.
Is there anything else they should be looking forward to? And we haven't planned past April. So those are our themes.
I feel like that's so much planning already.
We've done real good.
I don't even know.
And of course things can change, but I think we're pretty stuck on the themes through April. But if you have a theme suggestion month,
yeah.
email us.
Yeah. Also, I have a couple other stories I need to tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the guy in Colorado who was a truck driver who like drove and no? Yeah, you did?
The 100, yes.
Yes. So this
I
guy
had that.
recently was sentenced to 110 years for murder, okay, for all these counts. So I want to know what your opinion is. So in general, he basically was driving this 18-wheeler, and he says that his brakes failed, and that he had no way to stop for the oncoming traffic, and he crashed into several cars, killing 4 people, injuring several others.
A big pileup.
And it was this big explosion. I don't know how he survived, but he survived. And so he gets tried and everything, and then it's like his sentence was 110 years because it's apparently the discretion was not up to the judge. Like, the judge did not have discretion because they had changed the laws to where the minimum you have to, I guess he got charged on several different counts, and he got the minimum of all the charges, but the minimum was 110 years. And so then the family is saying, like, families of the people were like, we don't think, like, he does not need to get this long. He's 26 years old. He did it. It was not intentional. So it's like, what do you think? Do you think it's too harsh? Do you think that, okay, do you know the whole story? Yes. And I even talked to my husband about it because he's a truck driver. And I was like, Sweet Pea, did you see this? Like, this guy's getting 110 years. And so Sweet Pea's very, like, black or white, like no gray area. And he was like, oh, it says he was going 110 miles an hour or something like that. 110? Yes. No. That's how many years he got. In most trucks, but it was like a lot. I don't know if it was 110, but he was like fast. I know. He was speeding, but I don't know what it was. But I thought it was real high. And most trucks have governors where you can't go that. Like Sweet Pea's truck he drives, you can't go over like 60 or something, or 65. But, and then the fact that he didn't exit off, he had multiple chances to, like, exit off. He was just kind of weaving through traffic. So those were kind of like 2 strikes for him, but not 110 years. Take away his license, let him do some time. It was reckless. And then I think that he knew, I feel like I read something that he knew there was something wrong with the brakes before, but didn't think they would actually totally go out on him. Like, oh, I'll fix those after this run or something. Or I'll fix it next week, kind of put it off. Okay, so this is what I had. And there's a petition, right? Yes. Okay. So basically what I read is that he had an opportunity to take this off ramp and to take this, this is a weapon. This is a fully loaded semi, right? Yeah. And he could have driven it into the back of another semi, which was on that ramp. And they're saying that's why he's saying he didn't, because he didn't crash into the other semi. However, if he would have just taken the ramp and crashed into that one semi, he would have avoided going and crashing and swerving left into a bunch of cars and killing all these people. And so it's like was there a little intentionality behind it? He was going twice the legal speed limit. Okay. So that could be, if it's 60, they say he was going twice the legal speed limit down a mountain pass, like a steep grade, threw the brakes on, the brakes, like, burned up the brakes. And, you know, you're going to burn up your brakes, apparently, if you are going twice the speed limit and then you slam on your brakes. So you burn up your brakes and then the brakes stop working. And they also said that he needed, I don't know if he's from somewhere else, he needed an interpreter. I don't know if he can't read the signs or how good his English is. But I mean, all these, like, he should serve some time, but definitely, obviously not 110 years. And especially the fact that the family's petitioning this stuff is like, says a lot. But and so the last article is like they are considering. Apparently he also, like, rejected a plea deal. I read that too. Oh. But then it's like, who are his lawyers? They're probably some terrible lawyers. Like, he probably just was assigned these I don't know. Did it ever say the trucking company, or was he independent? No. I did read that the reasons that you have to do mandatory minimums of these sentences because some of these like soft judges were giving lenient sentences to people like sex offenders, to people who were like raping kids, who they were just giving them probation and stuff. So then they were forced to give these like certain minimum sentences.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I would not want to be that guy right now.
So that's crazy and juicy.
Yeah, it's definitely a story to follow in 2022 because I'd like to see if they cut it in half, it's still 50 years. So how do you go from 110?
No idea. Apparently they have the governor that they're. I guess the governor has the final word. So
okay.
I think that might be who they petitioned. Or something. I don't know if it goes to the governor's office, but
nice.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I have one more.
Well, yeah. What about you were telling me about some documentary?
Okay, yes. So there is this documentary that's supposed to come out on Hulu, and it's about this GoFundMe scam. So it was this boyfriend, this guy and girl. So this girl gets a ride or like gives this homeless man like $10 because he's like some good Samaritan. She's like, he's stranded. I'm going to give him some money and blah, blah, blah. Well, then apparently they took a picture together and she posted the picture standing next to this homeless guy. And she was like, he was such a great guy and I would love to start a GoFundMe for this guy. And they ended up raising like $400,000.
Oh, goodness.
Well, it's taken a couple of years, but they've like figured out that this was all a setup. Like the girl and her boyfriend ran into this homeless guy, quote unquote homeless guy at a casino, and they like conjured up this big plan. And then they took pictures and posted it. And then they started talking about it. And then it made all this money. And then now you have to go watch the Hulu doc because that's all I know. But that's crazy. Why didn't I think of that?
Because you didn't want to go to jail.
Oh, yeah.
And it's stealing.
It's called No Good Deed.
Okay.
It's called No Good Deed. It's supposed to come out on Hulu. I'm still waiting for Candy Montgomery's story to come out on Hulu. So I'm just going to wait and I'm just going to watch my Hulu.
Just waiting. Another story that we're going to be following in 2022 is the Jelani Day story. And I'm real pissed at us for not even covering it yet. It's like it's been on our, we need to talk about it. But it hasn't actually made it into episodes. This guy went missing around the same time Gabby Petito did. So his name is Jelani Day. He was Illinois State University graduate. He was going to get his doctorate because in speech, like he wanted to be, I guess, the SLP, speech language pathologist. So great kid. And I say kid, but he's a grown up, he's a doctorate student. Mm-hmm. His mom reported him missing on August 24th. Mm-hmm. His car was located in a wooded area in Illinois, 60 miles away from where he should have been, like going to school. And his license plates were removed. It was in a wooded area, and then his body was found in water, naked, mutilated. His wallet was somewhere. His, what's the students where the lanyard was thrown somewhere. And we have no idea what has happened to him. Some people are saying, is it a hate crime?
Because he was like, a lot of his organs were like removed.
Yeah, it was. There was been multiple like autopsy reports, but at one point it was like his penis was mutilated, his insides were not on his insides, and so they were like, "Is this a case of organ harvesting?" But they don't think it was anything like that. So of course they're having a lot of trouble getting this story out there because he's a black male. And so they're working with a lot, who are the people? Like Jesse Jackson, is he still alive?
Oh, yeah, because he goes to all the, like, trials, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Or
Al Sharpton. Yeah. working with people just to kind of get this story out there, because instead of this story even being reported a little bit, Gabby Petito like spread like wildfire, and everybody was focused on Gabby. And I mean, that's, you know, it's kind of why that's wrapped up, right? And then we still don't know what happened to Jelani Day.
Mm-hmm.
So look that story up, follow that story. And if you live in Illinois, listeners, lend a hand. So I think for 2022, we are going to bring some more of these cases just to kind of follow. And then
it's going to be Court TV Corner. That's
Court TV Corner. We're going to call it Court TV Corner.
Yeah.
But what if it's not in court?
That's just what I need to call it.
Okay. Court TV Corner.
I would say it would be, it's like cases that have like something that's happened that's ongoing.
Yeah.
Maybe not an unsolved, but just like what's the latest on what's the development in a story? Court TV Corner.
Okay.
I like corners.
Okay. Corners. She likes corners.
Or Court TV Hour. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. Just go with it.
But no, yeah, we're definitely going to follow some of these cases and keep you guys going. So look up Jelani, say a prayer for his family, and hopefully his mama. Like, you send your kid to college. I say it all the time. You send your kid to college and you worry about what happens to him. And this is like the worst of the worst.
I mean, that's beyond. It's excessive. People in LA who were murdered and they were dumped and they were models. And we'll talk about that more later too.
Oh, well, it's later right now. Tell me, is this something we need to follow in 2022?
We can, but I don't have all the names. There's like so many people involved, but it's like these two people in LA who were friends. They were models. They found one of the bodies was dumped outside of a hospital. And then there was the other girl who she was found and she was on life support for like 3 days. And then she was dead. And it ended up being these three guys were just arrested. And they were like, one of them like directed some Vanderpump Rules shows and NCIS, I believe. And so it's like these people who are involved in the entertainment industry who are like, they apparently drugged these girls and they had heroin in their system and they had, I don't think cocaine, but I know they had multiple things in their system and they're like, no. Like they don't take that. That's not what they do. And what else was it? Nothing they would do voluntarily. So it was that they believed that they died of drug overdose.
Yeah.
And it's ongoing. So it's just an interesting story. I just heard a little bit about it. So
the modeling industry could be dangerous.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. I mean, that's all I have. I don't have any major stories in my head. I mean, of course, I want to see where Scott Peterson's going to go in 2022.
Oh my gosh.
But I think that's all I have. So we look forward to 2022 with you guys. Merchandise, Patreon. Our Patreon is going to drop in 2022. We'll give you more information about that. What else, Caroline?
What? Oh,
the best news
oh
ever.
Oh my gosh. How could we almost have forgotten this?
I almost did.
Set it up.
Okay. Bloody Happy Hour is going to do a series within our podcast. So we're going to drop our normal episodes.
We're probably just going to have to call it, I don't know. It can't be Dirty Chad because that's like Dirty John.
It's basically Caroline's story.
It could be called
of Trashy Chad.
Dirty Chad, a sociopath. I don't know. The story of.
Yeah. Listen, that's how far we've gotten on it. We just know that we're going to do it. And it is going to be a series. We don't know how many parts it's going to have because we got to get her journals. We got to put them together, and we're going to have somebody outside come in and interview who's actually got some interviewing skills.
Mm-hmm. There could be an update and all that. I don't know how far we want to go because you're just going to have to listen to the series.
Yes.
He could have dated somebody new, and that person was,
Caroline's
warned.
been doing some warning.
Could have been warned. She
She's
could
been
have
doing-
Did she take the advice? Did she not?
We'll
Guess
see.
we'll have to listen
Yeah.
and find out.
So you've heard, if you've listened to all of us, you've heard her drop some just like nuggets of information about her marriage with a narcissist. But you don't even know the half of it. If you've listened to the podcast, something was wrong.
Yeah.
That so many of those stories, she's not the only one, but we're going to share hers on Bloody Happy Hour. So if your mouth is watering to know more about Dirty Chad, then you have to look forward to that.
And I want to know what you want. I want you to like comment or email or whatever if you have any cool stories like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Or not cool, but just.
If you've had your own Dirty Chad in your life.
Ugh, hope not.
That is all I have. We are so glad that you guys tuned in to the end of this episode.
Thank you. Y'all are awesome. We love listeners. And this has been a great year, I guess. 6 months.
Great 6 months.
Been
Yeah.
great. It's so fun. I look forward to it. I get real depressed whenever April either has COVID or surgery and then we can't record.
It's
So
always
she
my
ruins
fault.
my life.
It's always my
sometimes.
fault. We hope you'll have a happy new year. Have a New Year's resolution or don't. Just do you in 2022. Look at that. Did I just
Oh.
rhyme?
You
Do you in 2022. Can I'm going to end with the animal fact because I
Oh,
haven't
yes.
done that in a while.
Do it.
Hold
do
on.
it. Do it. Do it.
Did you know that African white-backed vultures' wingspan is measured 7 feet long when they open their wings?
No,
up
I
like this?
didn't. I didn't know that.
And when they fly in circles in groups called kettles.
Oh.
So when you see vultures flying in circles, that's not called a group of vultures, called
It's
a
called
kettle.
So next time I
of
see it, I'll sound so
vultures.
smart when I'm like, they're like, oh, there's a bunch of vultures. I'm like, oh, there's kettles.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they'll be like, oh my God, you're so smart. I love you. Let's get married. Yep. That's how it works out every time.
That is an animal fact from one of my former
Cue Lifetime movie.
students. Okay, so we're gonna end it in 2022 the way we did in 2021, and we will see y'all in January.
We will.
All right. I'll wait for.
Don't forget.
Don't forget
Oh
to.
my
I can never.
gosh, you cannot forget. Stay aware.
Stay alive.
And always be DTF.
Bye, y'all.
Goodbye.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.